filming live from the firehouse. It's Good Night with Christopher Blue. Special guest star, the Antonia Sawyer. I'm your co-host, Reverb. Here's your host, Christopher Blue.
Hello, and welcome to Night Christopher Blue. I'm Christopher Blue, and we have a wonderful show for you tonight. Tonight, we have an awesome guest who does some really awesome work that we have not covered anything like on this show before. But before we get to that, I'd like to thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Don't forget to click that bell so you're notified when we upload new content. When we come back, Antonia Sawyer. The Antonia Sawyer.
She left you in the alley.
Oh, sweet Reverb, you're back from patrol. Are you wearing Good Night with Christopher Blue merch?
It's a guilty pleasure, okay?
Welcome back. Tonight's guest has an awesome non-for-profit organization. Let's get her out here, Antonia Sawyer.
Absolutely. I'm gonna shuffle these over here. Would you mind holding these for me? Thank you, sir.
Welcome, the Antonia Sawyer.
The Antonia Sawyer. You know, there's only one of me on this planet, everybody.
So just explain that. When Reverb was getting her name, she had popped out from behind the curtain and said, the Antonia.
I may or may not.
So,
Thank you so much for correcting.
So now we're going to bust you on that this whole episode.
No, I can understand having your name wrong on TV.
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that.
Oh, see, I don't even know if she understands that reference. We were on the news doing our superhero stuff.
Okay.
And instead of calling him Reverb, the news called him Weaver.
Weaver?
So we had this shirt made. You no longer can get it on the merch store, unfortunately. But Antonia, let's talk about you.
Oh my gosh, me.
You have an awesome organization, and I would love for you to tell us what it is, what you do.
Absolutely. So ShipHappens is an Indiana-based nonprofit.
SHIP.
Yes, that is with a P, not T. But you will learn that I love a good double entendre. So, things do happen. People do overdose. And so ShipHappens is Indiana's only nonprofit organization that specializes in mail-based harm reduction supplies distribution. So what that means is we don't have a traditional brick and mortar, very much like we're sitting in here today. Everything is completely satellite. So you reach out to us either on social media or on our website, and you submit requests, and you can get naloxone, safe use supplies, HIV home testing, or linkages to prevention, treatment, and testing for hepatitis C as well. So, yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't do it alone. There are so many fantastic harm reduction organizations and partners and collaborators and our volunteers. Shout out to our participants. I mean, it really does take everybody coming together as a collective to make it happen. So I get to do the fun stuff and come do this, but I'm definitely represent thousands as I sit here today. So
now,
greatly appreciate it.
I believe one of the things that you do classes for Narcan. Is that correct?
Yeah. So not your traditional naloxone course where many might be familiar with, going to a local health department or to a library. We actually do it all virtually. So when you go to our website, there are videos there for either intramuscular naloxone or nasal Narcan, and they are either in English or Spanish, and you watch it. It's the best 7 minutes of your life. It can really stand between yourself and saving someone else. So your 7 minutes could really mean a lifetime of experiences for someone else if you participate. So if you haven't yet, I would encourage you go there and give it a try.
Wonderful. Now, for those who don't know, what is Narcan?
Yeah, so naloxone or Narcan. Naloxone is the same thing as Narcan. They just get interchanged. They, being the same medication, it really is an opioid antagonist. So it reverses an opioid overdose. It travels to the brain, gets on the receptor. I say it flies in like a superhero, kicks that opiate off of the receptor, and it caps it, and it sits there, and it reinstates breathing. So that's really Narcan's main purpose, is to reestablish breathing in someone who's overdosed.
Wonderful. Was this something you started yourself, or did you start this with
Only
someone?
I can turn a pet project into a nonprofit in 4 years, okay? I obviously like to work. So, this started as a pet project. I had actually tried to establish some harm reduction initiatives in a rural community, and they kind of flew over like a lead balloon, to say positively. And I expressed that to a syringe service program in Bloomington, the Indiana Recovery Alliance. And I was like, what am I going to do? They said, you're going to come down here. We're going to gift you as much intramuscular naloxone as you can possibly put in your trunk so that you can go save lives in your community. that's what I did. I brought it home, and I thought, there's got to be other people like me who don't have access to naloxone that want to distribute it to their communities. So I started calling my network, and I said, hey, I've got, at the time, what I thought was the most naloxone I've ever seen in my life. I was like, I have an abundance, can I ship you some? And I'll never forget one of my dear friends, Kim Buck. I was on the phone with her, and I said, I'm going to name it ShipHappens. Do you think people will donate money to it? And she was like, yeah, probably. And I was like, I wonder if we can get $50. That's where my mind was. Yeah. $50 is what I thought I needed to make this work. So we got our first donation, and I started shipping it, and then that's when it clicked. I bet I could train people online. I bet I could establish something to where people could come to me and I could ship it to them. So that's really where it was born. And this pet project turned into, like, our first year, we gave out a little under 9,000 doses. And then our second year, a little over 11. And then our third year, we were at 20,000. And then this last year, we were a little over 20,000. And so it just has grown into one of the most beautiful and fulfilling projects I think I've ever been a part of.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
So in order for a seed to grow, you have to first plant that seed. So like, what was it that made you want to get involved in this in the first place? Where did ShipHappens come from?
I think it really came from, one, working in a rural community. You start working with people who use drugs, and you start working with their families, and you're working with families who have lost someone to an overdose, and you see it inside them that there needs to be a safe place, a trusting place that folks can turn to in this swirling sea of stigma and policies and grief, that we really needed to create a place that people could come to and not have to give anything to be able to get this life-saving medication that they needed. Because often, like, we can find ourselves in a situation where it's like you have to give something to get something. But when you're swimming in, just like I said, grief, or you've got a lot going on and you have substance use disorder and you're just trying to figure it out, you just need kindness and radical love and compassion. And so that's kind of why I created ShipHappens, to be that for anybody that I possibly could be.
I'm just so overwhelmed with positivity right now. This is amazing. Reverb, do you have any questions? I need help here.
Not at the moment, no.
So why do you think it's important for more and more people to have access to ShipHappens?
Sure. I really feel like more and more people need not only access to ShipHappens, but harm reduction, because as much as the world needs organizations like ShipHappens, they need the people we serve more. This earth, we are all on this earth for a reason, and we might not know what that is, but we deserve to live a long, healthy, happy life. And if this little vial of medication can make that happen for you or your loved one or your friend, then let's do that. Because that's why we need harm reduction, because we need everybody. We really do. And we're not quite there yet with harm reduction being fully embraced as much as I would like to, but I know we're getting there. And there's a lot of organizations that are establishing, or without the Indiana Recovery Lines, I wouldn't even be established. And I think that's what's so great about harm reduction, is that solidarity, radical love. What do you need? I'll get it for you. I'll give you the shirt off my back if I need to. And I feel like we need more of that in our communities and in our state and in our country and in our world and just in our day-to-day interactions.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who might be struggling and hopefully your words are able to land on their ears before they need harm reduction? What would you say to someone struggling?
So if you're watching and you're struggling, please reach out to us. It's okay. We are a safe place. It's confidential. It's judgment-free. It's coercion-free. It's compassion. It really is all love. You don't have to give us anything to get what you need. And if we don't have what you need, because I'm not here to sell you a dream, reality is I'm not an end-all be-all. We will link you with who you need. And if they can't find it, someone else will find it, or someone else will try to link you. So if you're struggling, we're all struggling with something, and you're not alone. So I struggle too, just a different kind of struggle. Yeah. So that's okay. Just www.harm-lessindiana.org, and we'll be right there, or find us on social media if you'd prefer. Send me a letter, snail mail, I don't care, knock on the door. Call one of these two. So, yeah.
Well, we'll make sure all your links are in the description down below, so people have a way to contact you.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah. And if you don't feel like you need naloxone, I would encourage you to come through ShipHappens anyway. work the videos, the sites, get through all of that, submit a request, and just learn how to do that, because you might come across somebody that needs it. You can say, hey, go to ShipHappens, and if you know how to do it and you've been through it and you know how easy it is, then you can speak to that. I would never ask someone to do something that I wasn't willing to do myself. So experience it so that you can truly share that it really is zero barrier and completely free. And if you're houseless and don't have an address, that's okay. We can use any post office in the state as your address. We can do a hold for pickup, completely anonymous packaging. There's no logos or stickers or anything like that. No one will ever know what's inside the package. So it's completely confidential that way too.
Wonderful. Are there any plans to maybe expand ShipHappens to be something even bigger?
Oh my gosh, I would love that. There are some fantastic national shipping service, like Next Distro does national shipping. Tracy Helton in California, she's really, I would call her the OG of shipping naloxone and safe use supplies. So for me, I want to expand more in Indiana beyond kind of our current services. And I'm going to say this out loud because I believe in manifestation, and I hope maybe some of you all do too.
Absolutely.
I would really like to pilot a mail-based syringe service program. I feel like if we can get to a point to where we can have completely anonymous requests for syringes and get folks that are in rural communities, they have transportation barriers, stigma barriers, time, all those things that we could really curb some of the HIV and hepatitis C rates that we're seeing right now. So I think expanding in Indiana first and accomplishing all my goals there, and then maybe a regional approach in 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give it 10 years. So give me some time.
Antonia, thank you so much for being such a positive light in this world and starting such an amazing organization.
Oh, thank you.
And I really appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate being here, and any opportunity I have to just kind of bring love and light into other people's lives. So thank you so much, and shout out to all my participants and all my friends and family. And I got to do that. It's my first time being on TV. I mean, I got to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's our show. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified whenever we upload new content. Until next time, good night, my sweet baby angels. I'll see you in the future.